Okay, we're good. We're live.
Just a moment. Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon or morning. Sorry, morning. I'm calling to order the Blighted Property Review Committee for the City of Williamsport for our advertised February 16th, 2022 meeting. We do have a quorum present. Our Mr. Girardi, we have Councilman Palizzi and Mrs. McDonald and myself, Patrick Marty. Others had responded that they would not be able to attend. So for our first subject, we do have a quorum. So our first subject is approval of the minutes for the meeting of January 19th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mrs. McDonald, motion, and Mr. Palizzi, second, I believe that was.
I'll make a second, yes.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, any negative votes for approval of the minutes?
No.
Hearing none, the minutes are approved. The next item are some new residential blighted properties. Mr. Girardi.
Yes, the very first property is 431 Anthony Street. The property was condemned back in 2018. The owners are Mr. John A. Calle, C-A-L-L-E. He lives at 428 Wilson Street. He's pulled a permit a couple years back to do work. He's doing very little to this building whatsoever. I have attached pictures to this building of the building. I attached the site plan where it's located. Actually, the violation notice is on it also. This is definitely a blighted property, and I think he's had enough time to try to do something with this building, and he hasn't. This is on Anthony Street. The area is starting to become, people are starting to invest in their properties, and this is one that's not in good shape. So I would recommend we place this on the blighted list and send him out his letter. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it.
Just because we had some difficulty in getting some of the paperwork electronically, could you just detail a couple of the items, rationale from your officer's findings out there for the record?
If I may, Mr. Marty, I think the details for this particular property just came through.
Yeah, Robin just turned around and sent it everybody back out if they want to take a minute.
I don't have it yet.
Oh, you don't have it yet?
No, I don't.
Okay. Give you some real quick ones on this. The property itself is in disrepair. Siding's falling off. We have openings, windows that are in bad shape. The chimney itself is leaning and needs to be removed. And the whole interior of this building's gutted. He hasn't done anything to the inside. The structures is not in too bad a shape, but it does have some structural damage. The steps and so forth are decaying. And like I said, if you had the pictures in front, you'll see the back part of it. The door's open, the windows not there. It's exposed to the weather. These are some of the things that we found in this building that need to be taken care of. And he has made little, if no effort to fix this building.
Got it. Okay, any questions for Mr. Girardi on this structure? Hearing none, do I have a motion with an action to certify this property as blighted?
So moved.
Second, Ms.
Second.
McDonald, thank you. I'm sorry, any negative votes? Hearing none, 431 Anthony Street is approved to be certified as blighted. Next item is 620 Green Street.
Yes, 620 Green Street. This property was condemned in 2020. It meets the vacancy. It's been vacant for well over a year. As you can see on this property, the roof is in poor condition. This is 620 Green. It's in the area where the hospital is located.
Mhm.
This building, the taxes let me see here. Mortgage company's been paying the taxes on this. The roof structure's in poor condition. The exterior is not too bad. It has problems with the steps, roof, handrails, guardrails. It definitely needs another coat of paint around the windows. And as you can see, the picture shows the roof. It's a metal roof area and it's not in good condition. This one definitely needs to be placed on the blighted list. And if you have any questions, again, I would be more than happy to try to answer any of them.
Was this This was not just sent to us in an email right now from Robin, from Miss
No.
Adams, was it? No.
No.
No, I sent the 431 Anthony Street.
Yeah, 431 Anthony, you said.
Yes,
Still-
You guys did not receive 620 Green?
I thought they received that one.
I thought everybody had that one.
I
No.
don't have that. No.
Okay. And again, I apologize. Like I said, doing this remote, we're trying to get all the information to you and,
Okay.
I'll send it right
it-
now.
yeah, and if you want to wait, she can actually send that out to you right now, if you want to give her a minute. Is that
Thank
okay?
you.
Yeah, it's fine, please.
Yeah.
I've seen the property, but.
Okay.
Firsthand, but.
And for some reason, these files, when I'm showing all the pictures, it creates a large file and it won't send the whole thing at one time.
There may be a way, I don't know, that the IT staff can help with reducing the size of a PDF for mailing. Sometimes there's ways there's a pull down menu that can be in.
What I can do between now and then is get Chris Black to come over here. Like I said, I'm not a computer expert. I know he is, and he'll be able to show us how to do that. This way, everybody will get the proper information.
Yeah, because I think it should be probably all in one file if possible.
Right, I agree. It makes
Even
more
if it has
sense.
to be in a zip file or something like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, Mr. Girardi, while we're waiting, can you give us a relative location of exactly where this is?
Yes, I have on this one. It is a site plan. When you get, it'll show you that it is located
What was it?
between
Address again? What number on Green?
620.
620.
Thank you.
It's between Park Avenue and Memorial Avenue, between Walnut Street and Campbell Street.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Yep, it's actually in the area where it's not actually I want to say in institutional district. It's below that area for the hospital. So this would be one that the hospital wouldn't want to take at this time.
It was what was called the expanded zone, if I'm not
That's
mistaken,
correct.
Mr. Girardi, but it was an area of interest of the hospitals, but was not rezoned.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. Yep. I think, if I'm correct, I think didn't they rezone an RU district where commercial and residential would be, I believe
I believe you're right, but I'm not.
yeah, it's that area down there where the Ollie's Diner is and all
Yeah,
that.
to allow for some multifamily or retail
Commercial.
to support the
Right.
the hospital campus. Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. She did send it, so she should all be receiving it here real soon.
There it is. Thank you.
Did
I
you get
drive
my-
by this with regularity, so I know exactly which property it is. Ms. McDonald, have you received it yet?
I have not.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
it just came through. Hold on.
Yeah, I
Yep.
just got mine, so.
Okay.
You guys know this building?
Know this building.
Yeah. You've seen it.
I think. I don't recognize it. It's right on Green.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Who's the mortgage company?
On that one, it is.
Federal National Mortgage Association.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder,
Oh,
Joe. I've just got.
That's- That's fine.
The GIS, I've already got it all pulled up.
Gotcha.
Wait, say again, National Mortgage Company?
Federal
Federal.
National Mortgage Association.
No, they sound. Never mind. Won't want to characterize the business. Okay, any questions on the Green Street property from now that everyone's refreshed on it?
Yep.
No questions.
Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the certification of blight for this property?
I make a motion to approve the certification of blight for 620 Green Street.
I'll second.
Lizzie, thank you, Ms. McDonald. I'm sorry, any negative votes? Assuming none, hearing none. This is not assuming none. 620 Green Street shall be certified as blight.
All right.
Okay, moving forward to the next item on the major item on the agenda, which is the certification of blight for some commercial properties. And before we go to this, I suppose we can handle it in old business, but I'll just bring it up here just because it's in context. We do have to revisit some earlier properties that actions were taken on the advice of council and from last meeting, which the minutes of which we just certified. Can we get that on the agenda to get that all cleaned up for the next meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get that. Yeah, I know you maybe needed a little more time before this one to revisit all. I think there were 8 to 10 properties. I don't remember the exact figure.
Right.
But does that give you enough time to have
Absolutely.
reevaluated based on current
Yep.
conditions and our revised understanding of the law as it relates
Right.
to properties?
Yeah, that's no problem, Mr. Marty. I think you're also going to find by next meeting, I'm going to have 2 of those properties. I'll have a demolition of one, and I'm going to have a permit issue for demolition of the interior and exterior window replacement and fixing and painting, so forth, of 2 of those properties. So I'll make sure I give all that information next meeting, so everybody has that.
Provide some color to the committee on that, with properties via email.
The one, yep, I could do that. Absolutely.
So we know,
Yep.
that'd be great.
Yep.
Okay, that's good news.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, my agenda got lost in all my windows here.
This would be for 1663 Memorial Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Girardi, please.
Yes, this was one of those 8, and this one's definitely determined as being blighted. This property is owned by Olivewood Complex LLC. It's located on Memorial Avenue. It used to be the old Webster School. At this point, the building has been determined as being blighted. It's been condemned since 2012. The pictures indicate the roof's in poor condition. The windows, some of them are boarded up, some of them are broken, they're no good. We have some structural damage to this facility, and the chimney towers are in poor condition. They need to be repointed or repaired or removed. Nothing has been done for this property in the last, 10 years. We're in 2022. This is violation notice has been sent out to the owner regarding all those issues. Also, we have downspouts, we have gutter problems and so forth, and protective treatment. I would recommend that this is a blighted property and that we approve it as such.
Okay. Questions for comments from Mr. Girardi?
I am familiar with this building. We have several rental properties in that particular area. Yeah, I could definitely affirm what Mr. Girardi's saying. Almost every sense of the definition of the word blight, and it's become, in my opinion, safety violation too for the children of the area. A lot of broken windows, broken glass, safety concerns all over the building itself as well.
Okay. Mrs. McDonald?
No questions. I would concur and agree based
Okay.
off of the photos. And I believe didn't we do a drive by on this? Maybe.
So thank you, Mrs. McDonald. I agree, and I certainly agree, Councilman, with your comments about safety. This is I ride by this property probably 5 days a week, especially in the summer and more temperate seasons. It's obviously it's something that a kid or kids could access and get hurt. You've got a huge investment by the city in the ballpark. You've got investment by private citizens and small businesses in the neighborhood, really trying to revise that. You've had investment by a Fortune 500 company in Textron in the area, and an investment of public money in federal and state money with some housing projects. And
Right.
to have this continue to sit there, this is an example of the economic drain that one building can have on an area of a city. And the sooner that this is put into someone else's hands who can do something with it, or taken down, or whatever the case may be. The status quo is not an option. So thank you very much for bringing this forward, Mr. Girardi. I think this is a great example of what we need to do when we look at any kind of structure,
Right.
Industrial, commercial, residential, in the city. This one is a poster child for a building that maybe people wanted to do something cool with it and didn't have the money or the resources to do so. The case is that it's been allowed to languish too long. Any negative votes for certifying the Memorial Street, the 1663, right? 1663 Memorial Avenue property.
Mr. Marty, I will make a motion to certify 1663 for blighted property.
Thank you for the correction and bringing a motion forward first. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much, Mrs. McDonald. Any negative votes? 1663 Memorial Avenue is to be certified as blight by this committee. Okay, now we've got a property that was brought forward after the agenda was published. Our understanding of the new sunshine laws in Pennsylvania mean that to add something to the agenda that's not de minimis, and I don't think, talking about starting a process of taking over property is de minimis. It's certainly an important thing. So we are going to have I'll entertain a motion to bring that forward, and we'll vote to put it on the agenda before we take any action. So could I have a motion to put 2169 Moster Avenue on the agenda to be considered to be certified as blight?
I'll make
I'll
that
make-
motion.
Okay, we've got Mr.
Second.
Girardi and Ms. McDonald second. Any negative votes? Okay, so we have added now 2169 Moster Avenue, which Mr. Girardi's officers have already done some work on, to the agenda. Mr. Girardi.
Yes, this property was a fire damaged structure. It was condemned June 9th, 2020. The owner has no insurance on the facility. The only thing the owner has done at this point was fixed and replaced the front porch and boarded up the windows. It's been 2 years going. It doesn't seem like it's going that well and that fast. The mayor recommended we put this on. I agreed with him that it is a blighted property. As you can see on the pictures that we have here, we have windows that are out. If the siding's coming off, fascia's off, it's been burned out. The interior is partially gutted because of the fire. We feel it'd be a good thing to put it on the agenda to get the owner to either do something with it or we take it and give it to another developer to do. The sad part about this one, it's part of an attached, either you want to call them row houses, townhouses, it's an attached single family, and it's the end unit. If it was a single family dwelling somewhere else, we would have tore it down completely, but it's hard to tear one down when they're attached because you got to side, a little bit more money involved than just tearing a building down.
Mhm.
So I'm recommending that this be placed on the blighted list, or be
Okay.
recommended as blight, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Questions on this property?
Was the unit attached to it? Did it, I'm assuming it did not sustain damage from the fire?
It just had some exterior damage as far as the walls were, believe it or not, there was a firewall separating the units.
Oh,
So it
very
did protect it. Typically in all single family dwellings attached, there's a firewall that runs from the basement all the way up through the attic. So it did prevent the fire from spreading to the other units, thankfully. So, yep, and it's encased, so there's no damage done to the building next door to it.
Oh, that's great.
Anyone else? Questions? Certainly looking at the pictures, you can tell with the roof line and the gables, this is it'd be complicated to raise just this one dwelling unit of the larger structure. I see the challenge here. Did
And
we?
Joe, oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Excuse me. Joe, you said that the current owner has no insurance?
Yes, she had no insurance on the facility. Typically, the only thing, I believe the way it works by law, the only time really you're required to have insurance is when you have a loan, because the loan company is
Or
going to
your-
require you to carry. Once you pay it off, you can drop
Yeah.
your insurance, and that's what
Right.
happened. Yep.
I'm not on, I'm listening.
It does seem that, wow, that's
Why the properties committee.
if you're have a party wall to someone who doesn't have insurance, that's kind of scary.
Correct. I'm glad it wasn't a center unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question, did the city use clean and seal money to or did they do it?
We did clean and seal at the very beginning to do grass cutting, some maintenance and some debris removal. The owner got her ex-boyfriend involved with it, and he's the one who's been working on it as far as boarding it up and so forth. So we have invested some money, but it was just more for maintaining the grounds than anything else.
So there is a lien to the
Yes.
city.
Absolutely.
Okay, so can I have a motion to certify, I'm sorry, I lost the address. Is it 1663?
2169.
169, sorry. 2169 Mosser Avenue as Blight.
I make a motion to certify 2169 Mosser Avenue as a blighted property.
I'll second.
Second from Mrs. McDonald, thank you. Any negative votes? Okay, Mr. Girardi, we'll get a letter to that owner as well for 2169 Mosser Avenue is certified as Blight.
And just to update the board real quick, just to let them remember how it's done. Typically at this point, we'll prepare 4 letters of blight along with the correction notes, send those to the known address of that owner, and we'll also go out and post the building so that the building's posted. They will have, usually what happens, we give them until the next meeting we have to appeal if they wish. If they do not appeal and they have received the letters, then at that point, we will forward them to Redevelopment Authority and we'll forward to the Planning Commission. Also, the one that we did 1650 Andrews Place was also approved as blight. Letter was sent out to those individuals and they got it, they returned it, but they did not appeal the decision. So that will be placed with these 4 when we present them all. Instead of doing one next month and then doing 4, I'll do them all 5 together. So there'll be 5 properties going to Redevelopment Authority and Planning Commission if they do not appeal. And then
Okay,
that would bring our list up to 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 8, 5 plus 8. That's going to give us 13 properties that are ready for acquisition and legal action once we get funding available.
so again, that action to go, we don't need to take an additional action since there's no hearing. It will just either they turn down the opportunity to have a hearing or the time exhausts, and that's the trigger in your system to send that to RDA.
That's correct. Yep.
So we will not see those, we'll never see these addresses again unless we ask you a question about how's it going with that.
Correct. Basically, what I like to do is once we do the acquisition and so forth, at this point, I'll keep everybody up to date. If by chance someone purchases the property in the meantime, I'll also let the board know that. So I'll give everybody an update periodically on what's going on with them.
That's it. So the clock will start as soon as I come down and sign the letters for these 4 properties we've approved today. And can we do that by the end of the week, please?
I believe I should be, I have my general letter already made up, so there's no reason why I shouldn't have these ready to go by Friday for you, Mr. Martin.
Perfect. Okay. I will.
Today's what, Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll need to do that before noon that day. Then.
Right. Let's, question for you, sir. Can I do it on Monday? I just realized I'm taking off tomorrow. So if it's okay with you, I can prepare and get them all ready by this afternoon and Friday and have them ready to go
That's fine.
first thing Monday.
Just shoot me a text when to come
Yep.
down.
Sure.
Okay. Any new business from the committee?
The only thing I wanted to say was, I didn't know if anybody's been down on 3rd Street, but the corner at the bottom of Penn Street, Mr. Mealy's building is completely down now. We almost have a whole entire block that's vacant. Mr. Stopper across the street is in the process of taking a demolition permit out to tear down the old Fowler Motor Building, that little building there. That'll be a,
The old Saab Motors building.
yes, yep, and that'll be
I like any chance to get the word Saab into the minutes, by the way.
Saab?
AAB. For the record. It's a great car. It's so sad.
Yep, that's what they used to sell them. You're absolutely correct. Yep. So you'll see down there'll be a lot of vacant ground for future development, which I think will be a good thing for the city, being that is the area where we're trying a new city, the gateway and so forth down in that area.
That's good. Well, it's appropriate that Saab building didn't know anything, and it was a long time due to come down. So I'm glad to hear the demo permit's going to come.
Yep. So that's what I have under new business. Again, we are canvassing the city for other blighted properties. I think at this point with residential, we're getting to the end of them, which is a good thing. I'm not saying there's not any more out there, but if there are, they're far and few between. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay, that's good.
That's in residential.
Okay, Mr. Puzzi.
I would just ask, Mr. Girardi, is there For anybody, any resident of the city that may be watching this, or if we wanted to pass on information for somebody that would like to report a potentially blighted property, what would they do? Would they call the codes office, call you, give
Yep.
the address?
Basically, what they would end up doing, if anybody has a property, they feel that is a blighted property, or even if it's a complaint that the building has issues, all they need to do is call down, talk to Robin or myself, call the codes department, and put that complaint in. And then typically I send an officer out to take pictures of it and to write up some violation notices. And at that point, we'll assess it and say, yeah, this is a blighted property, it needs to go to this committee.
Okay,
So they would need to call 327-7519 to talk to Robin, or 327-7584 to talk to me.
thank you. And real quick, is there a place on our city's website that, a lot of people aren't exactly sure what constitutes blight? Is there
Right.
anywhere that we have that actually defines what a property would need to have or not have to be constituted as blighted?
Right. I do not believe there is, but we can put something in our website under the codes department that defines blight. This is what blight is, and then give them a definition of that. We can do that. And I think Chris Black can put that on the internet for us. Mr. Black, I'm not asking, I think he can do that for us.
I know I would certainly appreciate it. If somebody were to ask me all the different variables and
Right.
points that, hey, what is blight? Well,
Right.
Yeah.
I personally cannot put it on the website, but I can get it to the people that can.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
I think that's really important. I thank you for bringing that up, because I think there should be a one page with maybe some references, to the Pennsylvania Economy League or some of those other quasi-governmental bodies that do a great job of explaining why this is so important for communities to understand what blight the elimination of blight, how much it can help you from an economic standpoint, and certainly from a health and safety standpoint. And that's why we're all here, because we want a better community that's safer and more economically viable. So if there can be some context, I think all of us on the committee would appreciate the opportunity to kind of review that page and make it something that we can send people
Sure.
to and say, you want to know more about what we do, here's what it is. We've learned that we don't have all the tools that we would hope we have to really take an active role in this, but we're doing our best, and this is the limitations we're under, but we rely on citizen input because they live in the neighborhoods. People live in the neighborhoods. They know better what they're seeing every day on a day-to-day basis, and how it may be negatively impacting their families or their property values. So yeah, I think that's great. And I would be one that would definitely want to give some feedback and assistance in developing that
Okay.
page.
What I can do is, Mr. Marty, I can write a definition of what blight is and then put a few examples of the ones we've already approved, so they have pictures and actually see what we're talking about. Send it out to the members before we put it on the internet and let you guys look at it, see if there's any tweaks you would like to do with it.
I love it. I
enough.
love, even this summer, if you got an intern or something like that, can do a little story on a property that, over the last decade has been taken under the rule and
Right.
what's become of it. And maybe there are examples in the city of things that are better than they were because of this process.
Correct. Mr. Maroney is always looking for articles to put in. I can also go through the newspaper and maybe write a letter up about blighted properties and the board and what we're trying to achieve, and show him some examples of that also.
It'd be great. Even an op-ed would be great too.
That would be absolutely great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Girardi.
Any other new business? Mr. Mimi, anything for us you want to convey or pass on or?
No, not at this time. We all are waiting for funding to begin the